Ladies and gentlemen, it is my honor to present to you my platinum journey for the current 2026 Game of the Year, Resident Evil Requiem. I literally just finished it, so I might have some recency bias for this, but hey, at the end of the day, you put Leon in a game, I'm not going to critique it very much. I am the target audience. Requiem is the perfect mix of horror and action that Resident Evil should always strive for. There were moments in this game where I felt like I was genuinely on the verge of pissing my pants, and then suddenly the game just turns into Doom Eternal midway through. And now for the reason you're here, the trophies. We got 50 of them to get this time around, and the game just came out, so there is no guide for it. I'll give the difficulty like a 5 out of 10. It's pretty easy until you have to beat it on the hardest difficulty, which is actually kind of ridiculous. I'll get to that much later. And my playtime clocked in at 30 hours when I was done with it, so I'd say that's a fair estimate. And before we proceed, I'm just gonna warn you that you should like and subscribe, or else Leon's gonna come to your house and roundhouse kick you into oblivion. So let's buckle up, get in our $200,000 Porsche, and get right into Resident Evil Requiem. The game begins in an FBI office, and we are introduced to our main character, Grace Ashcroft. She is stumbling and bumbling her way to the FBI director's office, who tells her,
"We found another body."
He then says he needs her to investigate because he believes she is the best fit for the job. But slight catch, the body is located in the same building where she watched her mother get brutally murdered. So obviously, Grace don't want to go back there because she's got a lot of trauma. Understandable.
Alyssa died 8 years ago. Perhaps it's time for you to face the past.
Yeah, so that's probably the worst thing you can say to someone in this scenario. Like, oh yeah, I know your mom died here, but who the fuck cares anyway? That was a long time ago. Just get over it. Somehow it works though, because Grace is on her way to the location, and after getting past the police, we get into the gameplay. And holy shit, this game is beautiful. It's the most realistic looking game I think I've ever played. The lighting is insane. This is one of the first times I've actually felt like I've been getting value out of the PS5 hardware. We enter the building, and yeah, this is great. I love not being able to see 2 feet in front of me. We then find a note saying to come to room 204 for a freak off, accompanied by a key. But nobody's even in room 204. Just some pictures of Grace and her mom that trigger some PTSD. We get a flashback to Grace and her mom Alyssa trying to escape the hotel. On our way, we meet a really chill looking guy. Alright, guess he's not chill anymore because he's fucking dead. Alyssa then mag dumps the bastard, and we're back to running away. Alyssa slips some documents into a secret little area for safekeeping before the guy catches up to us, ices mom, and lights the place on fire. So yeah, no wonder why Grace didn't want to come back here, asshole. But now that we are back here, we might as well get those files. So we retrace our steps and find them. But while going through them, Grace gets interrupted by the cop, who's looking, well, not good. And considering this is a Resident Evil game, something probably bit him.
Something stung me.
Wait, what? You got stung? What are we dealing with here? Bugs? Please not bugs. I hate bugs. It doesn't really matter though, because this guy's turning into a zombie and his teeth are falling out now. Yeah, Grace, we gotta get a move on. This guy's a fucking psycho. This is honestly one of the creepiest segments of any Resident Evil game that I played, mainly because of the way this guy moves. He's just so abnormal and animalistic. Also, wipe that damn grin off your face, dude. Fucking weird. It's become apparent that I can't really kill this guy with the current tools at my disposal, so we just run. Of course he catches up though, and we end up pushing him out the window. Good job, Grace. Then I enter the room that I just unlocked, and this guy is in it. This day just keeps getting better and better. This is Victor Gideon, the main villain of the game. He needs Grace because she is the key to everything, apparently. So he chokes her out, and the segment ends. And thank God it's over. My attention span couldn't take that much time without Leon aura farming on my screen. He's also been investigating the same bodies as the FBI, and they get a lead on Victor Gideon. So off he goes in his Porsche with his $2,000 Hamilton watch and his new gigantic revolver called Requiem. And the search is pretty damn easy because Leon just finds Gideon out in the open carrying Grace. Gideon gets startled by the pure aura of Leon, so he starts shooting people and infecting them. Oh, that's why the cop said he got stung. And now the game basically just turns into pure action. While I was barely able to deal with one zombie as Grace, I am now mowing down dozens as Leon. And a really fun new thing you can do with Leon is throwing the zombies' weapons back at them. And doing this for the first time got me a trophy. After just obliterating the enemy forces, Leon does some casual aura farming. You know the drill with this guy. He loves doing this shit. And then he takes off his glove to reveal that he is infected. So he's currently trying to find a cure, and he's on borrowed time. But he's been infected with shit before, so this isn't really as bad as it sounds. He'll be fine. And I get a trophy for completing this segment. We cut back to Grace, who is now awake but has been captured and is tied up and upside down. Luckily, before Gideon can get back to her though, she breaks free and tries to find a way out of the ward. Unfortunately for her though, she is interrupted by whatever the hell this thing is. What is this and how does it exist? They call this thing the Girl, and whenever she's in the game, I am just pissing myself. I'm a Resident Evil veteran at this point though, so I just juke her out, get the door open, but she catches up to me and Grace gets dragged away into the darkness. Well, that went well. Let's see what Leon's up to. Oh, he's in the same place as Grace now, and the outbreak has spread to the doctors. Lady, I would probably start running. Wait, what? Where the fuck did he get a chainsaw from? Why does this place even have one?
I think I want a second opinion.
So Leon basically plays like RE4 Leon, parrying and everything. So I get a trophy for the first time I successfully parry an attack. Except in this game, instead of a knife, Leon has a hatchet, and with it comes some of the coolest and most brutal executions I've seen. And I get a trophy for landing 3 of these. And after this encounter, I find my first Mr. Raccoon of the playthrough. These are the collectibles that you have to destroy in this game, and there's another trophy for finding all of them. Leon then finds Grace. Okay, buddy, you just gonna stand there and let her get dragged away, or are we gonna do something? Finally, took your sweet ass time. Holy shit, that thing got blown to smithereens. Surely it's not coming back. Before they can introduce themselves to each other, they get blocked off. Leon gives Requiem to Grace because, let's be honest, she needs it a lot more than he does. And Leon goes into the darkness where he finds Gideon and he is then taken out. Our heroes are now 0-2 against Gideon. And with Leon out of the picture, it is time to go back to Grace. And this is probably the biggest Grace segment in the whole game. The building is locked down, so I have to go around and find 3 puzzle pieces in order to open the main door. Resident Evil back at it again with the most impractical ways to open a door. But anyway, Grace's gameplay is all about horror and stealth, and I quickly found that I wasn't very good at the stealth. And this was a problem because they don't give you very much ammo at the start. But I found that I can use Requiem ammo pretty efficiently because this thing can collat enemies. And I got a trophy for blasting 3 zombies with 1 Requiem shot. Also, I got another trophy for storing an item away for the first time. I then came across a blind girl named Emily, and she's been experimented on a bunch. She'll be important in a little bit, but I don't really have the means to get her out at the moment, so she's staying put for now. After some exploring, I found this lethal injection that insta-kills the zombies, and after using it for the first time, I got another trophy. These things are really good during this segment. I use them a lot. I also unlocked the blood collector. Grace collects blood samples from zombies in order to craft items. Don't ask how that happens. I have no clue how blood samples turn into ammo. And there's 2 trophies that I got for using this. I got a trophy for crafting my first item with the blood collector, and then another one for using 300 samples of blood to craft whatever I need. This whole thing is a pretty cool spin on the whole crafting system, even though it is incredibly unrealistic. And I completed a little blood sample puzzle to unlock more crafting recipes, and also another trophy. While going through the area, I was greeted by this thing. This guy is called Chunk. It's a very funny name. I am a fan of Chunk. And he's gonna be a big problem for me in this whole area, but there is a way to eliminate him permanently. So if I gather 3 of these lethal injections and shoot them all up his ass, he just blows the fuck up. And this gives me another trophy. And also it gets rid of a major roadblock, because if you leave this dude alive, he just interrupts everything you're doing and wastes a lot of time. I also got another trophy for lockpicking a drawer for the first time. Then Grace finds Gideon in an office and he tells her that he needs her to release Elpis, but she don't know what that is, and we don't know either. I don't even think Gideon knows. He does a terrible job explaining anything, so she just runs away and he loses her somehow. He's kind of bad at his job. Eventually we find a puzzle that Grace cannot solve because it's in Braille, even though she could just kind of press the buttons and see which one does what, but I guess she didn't think of that. So she grabs an employee pass and gets Emily out of her cell so she can read the Braille for her. There's a lockdown segment during this, but honestly, I had a lot of ammo at this point, so it wasn't that hard. Oh yeah, I also forgot to mention that I switched to third person at this point. I just think Resident Evil is best played in third person, and I felt less sluggish while moving around. So while I'm fending off the zombies, Emily solves the puzzle and is about to give me the last piece, but she is captured. And yeah, of course this thing isn't fucking dead. God damn it. Come on, Emily, you could have at least like thrown me the puzzle piece. Now I have to go down and save you. At least I get a trophy. Before we find out what happens to Grace, it is time for more of my glorious King Leon.
We can talk. Or we can begin your treatment.
Silent treatment, I hope.
What do you want to know?
You know, I do have a question. When's the last time you brushed your teeth?
Of course, the goat breaks free. Damn, Gideon, you like really suck at tying people up. I fought another chunk as Leon, but this one was way easier to take down thanks to Leon's superior fighting skills compared to Grace, and I took him out with this badass jumping attack. This game really nailed it with a variety of ways you can use the area around you to kill enemies in like the coolest ways possible.
Sorry, but I'm not on the menu.
This segment is also pretty short, but basically as Leon, we just blow through the entire segment we were just struggling on as Grace, and while doing this, I got a trophy for putting an attachment on one of my weapons. At the end, he finds some intel showing that Grace specifically is needed for the sake of Elpis, whatever the hell that means. And the next Grace segment is really fun. Now that we were underground, we need to find 3 fuses to power an elevator, and the game gives us 1 to start, so we need to use it to divert power to the other areas in the underground place to find the other 2, all while being chased by the girl. But it's honestly not too bad because she's weak to the light, so yeah, take that, you silly bitch. The highlight of this segment though is definitely the conveyor belt meat grinder part where you just gotta survive for a bit and all the zombies get turned into ground beef. This was very fun. After restoring power, we get Emily because we still need that damn puzzle piece and go into the elevator and just barely escape the girl. They had me for a minute here. I like genuinely thought Grace got her leg cut off, but it was just the girl's arm. That was pretty sick. Alright, now that we got all 3 pieces, we can finally go outside, which gives me a trophy, and we find this guy. I already forgot his name, to be honest with you, and I don't feel like rewatching the clip to remember it. Anyways, he's trying to get the hell out of here with this helicopter, but he left his keys in this house and his leg is injured, so of course we gotta go get the key for him because why can't anybody else ever do anything in these games? But hey, he's offering to get us out, so sure, we'll do it. Doesn't sound too bad either. We just gotta get some keys. Surely nothing bad's gonna happen.
Get the fuck out of the way! I can't!
Alright, well at least I got the keys. But this is Resident Evil. Of course we're not getting out yet. We still got like half the game to go. Because zombies swarm the helicopter and we end up crashing. This dude is super fucking dead. And Emily is almost super fucking dead. All the while Leon has been watching the whole thing go down. Might as well have had some fucking popcorn and a soda. So he grabs a sniper rifle and helps escort Grace through the area. And this is a really fun segment because I love sniping and this sniper feels absolutely amazing. After killing enough enemies, Grace is able to break into the nearby church, so now Leon can make his way down.
Excuse me.
This introduces me to this enemy, who I'm just gonna call a bloater, because that's pretty much exactly what it is. Just shoot the glowing weak spots and he'll blow up. But when he does blow up, he also buffs the zombies around him and turns them into blister heads, so yeah, this enemy is pretty fucking annoying. Good thing there's only like 2 of them in the whole game, I think. But we're Leon S. Kennedy, goddammit, so I still find a way to pull through and get Grace to safety. And by safety, I mean Grace is now stuck in a dark underground facility while having to 1v1 the girl. How does she keep getting into these situations? I feel so bad for her in this game. Basically, we need to grab another 3 fuses, but the girl is constantly on her ass the whole time, so we gotta be careful. And this caused me to have to whip out the Requiem a few times, and I got a trophy for using it to stun her. This is one of the best segments in the entire game. I was on the edge of my seat the whole time trying not to shit myself. Grace just barely gets all the 3 fuses and then puts them into a machine, and the whole place gets lit up. And remember, the girl doesn't like the light. The sunlight mixed with my bullets equal permanent death for her. Thank God. That was very satisfying. Alright, now we can get Emily and get the fuck out of here for good this time. God damn it. Yeah, so all the experiments they did on Emily unfortunately turned her into this. And the monster we just killed was actually her sister, which is why she took her earlier. So yeah, this is a really sad moment for Grace. He's so tough, I can't lie. Except, oh god, that's not looking so good, Leon. Someone call a doctor. Oh wait, I just fucking killed all of them. Grace at this point is done with everything, so she leaves Leon and finds Gideon. And this time she actually listens to him and goes with him to do whatever they're gonna do. And he introduces her to Timu Albert Wesker. Although I can't lie, the fit is looking pretty damn good. And they tell Grace once again that she's the key to everything, blah blah blah. We fucking get it already. By the way, I got a trophy for completing this segment. So So now poor Leon is left all alone, and there's only one thing he can do. Leon has to take his Porsche and drive back into the heart of Raccoon City because that's where the bad guys are going. And this whole stretch is just awesome. Being able to go back to Raccoon City post-nuke hits different. And oh my god, wait, what the fuck? We really are dealing with bugs? Oh, that's disgusting. Yeah, so apparently there's giant mutated spiders in Raccoon City now, and this is basically how I imagine Australia. This is a fun-ass fight, though. The spider has a weak point on his back, so if you just light it up, he's not very hard. But beating the hell out of a giant spider as Leon can't really not be fun. We then reach a giant wall that Leon can't get past, although I bet you he could if he used more than like 5% of his power. So he has to go around and find parts to build a bomb in order to get through. And this is the point where the game pretty much completely switches the roles for the remainder of its duration. This quickly turns into a survival horror game for the zombies, not me anymore, because none of them are safe against Leon and my insane arsenal of weapons. And that is thanks to the supply box, which is essentially the merchant from RE4 and RE8. I can buy a crap ton of stuff from this thing, and doing so gets me a trophy. And using these weapons to mow through hordes of zombies, I got another trophy for killing 300 enemies. Eventually, I ended up on a really slow-moving elevator ride that saw zombies jumping onto my platform and trying to kill me. But they simply don't understand that I can just roundhouse kick them off because Leon is just like that. He's him. I also got a trophy for reaching the ground after the segment. Now, remember when I said that the horror is pretty much gone in this game now? Yeah, well, here's Exhibit A. Leon riding on a motorcycle and racing Gideon around the city.
How are the roads? Leon?
Just a few potholes.
This is the top tier Resident Evil content I paid $70 for. Of course, Gideon just has a rocket launcher for some reason, and he uses it to block Leon off. But if you shoot him fast enough during some of these parts, you can interrupt him, which gets me a trophy. After being blocked off by Gideon one too many times, Leon goes and does possibly the funniest thing he's ever done in any Resident Evil game. He decides that the only course of action is to drive his motorcycle up almost a straight 90-degree incline skyscraper to catch up to Gideon. And this is just absolutely hilarious. Like, are you fucking kidding me? And of course he lands it with no problem, and we go on with our day like absolutely nothing just happened. But if you thought that was bad, you haven't seen nothing yet. Because now Leon and Gideon, for some reason, are squaring up to each other on their bikes to have a motorcycle joust. I'm not kidding. You can't make this shit up. Leon wins the joust because, again, this is Leon we're talking about. And Gideon gets shoved off a cliff with his motorcycle before spontaneously combusting. And then the cherry on top.
Should've worn a helmet.
Bravo, Capcom. Bravo. And from this point on, the game pretty much is just pure nostalgia bait. And then we all knew it was coming. It's time to re-enter RPD one last time. This is such a big moment. I immediately got a trophy for entering the building. This part gave me goosebumps the first time I played through it. We explore some familiar rooms, reminisce about the good old days, and even kill a couple zombie police officers while we're at it. After exploring for a while, we find Timu Albert Wesker with Grace, and he's showing her some footage from way back in the day of what Umbrella was researching with Emily. And it's actually revealed here that Emily is a clone. This takes us into probably my least favorite segment in the entire game, to be honest. We play as one of the Emily clones and try to hide and run away from some evil bald clones. And this is just really boring. It's basically just hiding under a bed, and then hiding under a table, and then hiding in a corner, and then escaping. This sucks. I wish I could skip it. It literally does nothing for the story either. The segment ends with the clone being sedated and possibly killed. We don't really know what happens after this. But we then come back to present day where Zeno further reveals that these Emily clones are all actually clones of Grace, which is really weird to me because I feel like Grace should be able to like recognize that these clones look exactly like her from when she was little. But I don't know, maybe there's just no pictures of her. But this is too big a revelation for anybody, and Grace has a panic attack before passing out. What? Mom? No, that's Dad. That's Daddy Leon. Get it right. Zeno doesn't even have 7 minutes to spare for Leon, so he just unleashes Mr. X onto him instead. And this is what I meant by nostalgia bait. It's just so blatant at this point, but I love it. Just like Resident Evil 2, we run away from Mr. X for a little while before he goes away, and we escape RPD. We enter Kendo's gun shop and find the skeleton of Kendo's infected daughter that he ended up shooting back in RE2. Good times. Leon actually takes a second to be serious here, which is pretty cool to see. Like, you know, he's just going through it right now. Poor guy. But of course, Mr. X catches up to us, and now he's just throwing missiles at Leon. Yeah, bro, I don't know if you could parry these ones. Oh, you can shoot them, though. That's a pretty good idea. This starts the Mr. X boss fight, and this is basically the same boss at the end of Resident Evil 2. But it's much easier now, because Leon can parry and do all this cool shit. And after shooting him in the heart a bunch and then stabbing it, Mr. X is defeated, and I get a trophy. And then after that, we find the secret base of Umbrella known as Ark, and I get a trophy for entering. And at this point, shit just turns into a COD campaign, because we are playing as Leon and just gunning down regular old soldiers. This threw me for a loop the first time I played through it. I was like, what the fuck? In a good way, though. This was a cool segment. And then after going a little further, we find Hunk, who is a reoccurring character in the Resident Evil series and who is also a master of combat, just like Leon. So him and Leon have a very cool 1v1, which is basically just parrying each other the whole time and then shooting each other a little bit. This is a really good boss fight, probably my favorite in the entire game. It's funny, the best fight in Resident Evil 9 is just a normal guy, but I take him out because Leon is the superior aura farmer. Like, at this point, I think Leon could beat Goku. And I'm so fucking serious when I say that. Leon then finds Zeno and Grace, and Zeno is trying to make her release Elpis, but she literally can't right now because she doesn't know the password. We also still don't really know what Elpis is exactly. Leon tries to interrupt them, but Zeno out-auras him for a quick second.
Aren't we fancy?
That's what I'm saying. That gun looks absolutely ridiculous. I need it right now. Leon obviously can't keep up with Teemu Wesker though, and Grace decides to threaten to off herself so Elpis will never get released. And Zeno's just like, alright, fair enough, I understand. So they leave, and now the T-Virus inside Leon is really not looking so good. So Grace goes into the lab by herself to try to get some answers. I get a trophy, and during this segment I also got another trophy because I opened every safe in the game. And then Grace finds a video of her mother interviewing Oslo Spencer, the CEO of Umbrella. He's a massive piece of shit in the Resident Evil universe, but here he actually seems kind of chill. He actually gave Grace to her mother when she was a baby and says that Grace is his hope, and hope is actually the password for Elpis. And he says hopefully Elpis will help atone for all of the atrocities he and Umbrella have caused over the years. Pretty sure he doesn't really mean this. Like, I don't think he actually cares about being redeemed, but it don't matter because he's dead now anyway. We then go back to Leon, who follows Grace into the lab, and before he can get back to where they were before, the virus causes him to black out. And this is really sad. I don't like seeing my boy like this. Then Grace finds him and tries to wake him up.
I was just resting my eyes.
Alright, he's still with us, thank God. We go back into the Elpis room with Zeno, and Grace enters the password and releases Elpis. Elpis is this syringe looking thing, and Zeno injects himself with it to get ultimate power or something like that. Except Elpis is actually an antiviral, and all Zeno does is get rid of his own superpowers. I don't think I've ever seen anyone lose that much aura that quickly, oh my god. Then Gideon shows up. I literally forgot he existed, to be honest. And Zeno is fucking pissed at him, and he starts yelling at him that all his research about Elpis was bullshit. But Gideon is just like, yeah, whatever, bro, and just slimes Zeno immediately. Grace then injects Leon with Elpis, curing him and bringing him back to his full power. And now obviously Gideon is fucked because it's time for the final boss. And when I say final boss, I mean Leon, because Gideon gets his ass beat. Like, I almost feel bad for him. He then falls off a cliff and it's over. Just kidding, he's back in second stage, but funnily enough, this is actually easier than the first phase, and Leon beats him with pretty much zero issues. And now it's time to aura farm.
This time, you ain't getting back up.
God, I wish I was Leon. And the twirl, did you really have to do the twirl? Yes. Yes, he did. Leon and Grace then just kind of accept their fate that they're gonna die down here because there's actually no way out. They're just kind of stuck. But a rescue team sent by Chris Redfield ends up getting them out. Because of course we're not gonna kill off Leon. He makes us the most money. After they're safe and sound, Grace and Leon have one final conversation, and Grace says that she's sad that they couldn't save Emily. And then Leon just says the biggest lie I think I've ever heard in my entire life.
I didn't hit any of her vitals. She could still be alive.
Like, do I have to roll back the clip? That bitch is dead. Alright, bro, I'll take your word for it. God, he's so damn cool. I swear, no other character looks this cool by simply just walking. But that's the end of the game. I get 3 trophies for beating it for the first time, and now it's time for some cleanup. As Grace, I killed this chef during the care center segment. I also lured these 2 zombies together and made this blindfolded one attack the cleaning lady for another trophy. I then killed 2 singer zombies. These are kind of annoying enemies because they like stun you and and shit. Then as Leon, I earned 200,000 credits to spend in the shop, and I also opened all the crates during the Raccoon City segment. I then crafted every possible item with Leon, and also destroyed every Mr. Raccoon. Then I killed all of these plant enemies down by Ark for another trophy. I didn't do this the first playthrough because I was trying to save ammo, and these guys are kind of bullet sponges. Then I read every single file in the game, and unfortunately, I didn't find anything out about Epstein, so I'll let you all know when I have an update on that. I then parried a liquor attack and cut its tongue off as Leon. This was very cool discovering that I could even do this. And I got 2 more trophies for beating the game because I beat it without using any healing items, and I also beat it without using the blood collector as Grace. But I just played on easy mode, so these weren't too bad. During the next playthrough, I collected 5,000 blood samples as Grace, and also speedran the game in under 4 hours. And now it's time for Insanity mode. This is the hardest difficulty in the game, and it was pretty rough. I used infinite ammo for my weapons, and it was still really difficult at times. I didn't have the infinite rocket launcher though, so that's probably a big reason why. And I'll show you why this was still tough despite having infinite ammo. First of all, the game doesn't save unless you have these ink ribbons. I got a trophy for using one for the first time, but this was pretty annoying. As Leon, these blister head enemies take an insane amount of bullets before dying. Like, I don't know how you're even supposed to beat this without infinite ammo. Also, during the sniper segment, Leon is ambushed by a bunch of zombies while still having to cover Grace. Like, this was just mean. And speaking of Grace, during her segments, in order to stun the girl, you now have to mag dump her with Requiem. That's right, 1 bullet doesn't do it anymore. Once I got to Raccoon City though, it was pretty easy, so I got the trophy for beating the game on Insanity mode, and finally I got the last 2 trophies for looking at some concept art and also the character models. And once I did this, I got the platinum. And that was Resident Evil 9, ladies and gentlemen. Overall, I fucking love this game. I think it's my 2nd favorite Resident Evil game behind only the RE4 remake, which I'm gonna do a video on in the near future. Next up though, I'm doing a video on Hades, which is a very fun roguelike, so I hope you all are excited for that. I'm also gonna do some more Souls-likes in the future for sure, so if you found out about this channel from me doing those games, don't worry, those aren't going anywhere. But thanks for watching this video. I appreciate the hell out of you. Take care and get out of here.